Hello, my name is Josh, and this is a ProSchools tutorial. And today I want to show you guys how to record your first song in Pro Tools. I have a couple objectives that I want to meet, but I'm going to kind of go with the flow on this one. I'm just going to open up a session, and I'm going to kind of write a song on the fly, and you guys can just see how to create tracks and put a song together. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to obviously need to open up Pro Tools. And I have Pro Tools LE8. And I'm running this on a Mac, obviously. So let's get this started. Okay, so you're just going to go to File, and you're going to make a new session. And this is kind of just the basic template or format for the session. I'm just going to go ahead and leave that alone. And let's call this ProSchools first song. Okay. So when you open up the program, initially there are no tracks at all. They normally are hanging out right here. And so you have to create those tracks. There's a few different types of tracks you can make. What I'm going to do is make an instrumental track because I have a keyboard that has Midi capability, and I want to create a Midi piano sound, so I'm going to make an instrument track. I'm going to make one instrument track. So you'll just go up here to the top and click Track, New, and you just select how many tracks you want to make. I'm just going to make one right now. That's right there. And usually MIDI tracks sound much better when you have them in stereo, so I'm going to switch that to stereo. And I'll switch this from an audio track to an instrumental track, an instrument track. Now this is kind of confusing. This is something I ran into when I was learning this on my own. You don't want to actually select a MIDI track when you want to do MIDI. An instrument track is actually what you want to pick. So go ahead and pick that, and then you just press Create. And since this is going to be a piano track, I'm going to go ahead and change the name of this track to Piano. Okay. And what you can also do if you're going to be playing, the best thing to do is play to a click track. That way, when you want to edit things later on, it makes it much easier. And with MIDI, you kind of have to have a tempo set. You need to play to a tempo. So what you want to do is go ahead and go to Track and Create again, New. And when you want to create a click track, you'll actually, it's called an aux input. That's what you need to use for a click track. And go ahead and click on that. Let's create. And I'll go ahead and rename this again. I'm going to call this click. And now this might look different to you, to some of you. You can adjust the view, how this looks in your, this is called the edit window, this whole thing here. And this area right here, you can adjust what you see. This is called the inserts, where your plugins go. Plugins are things that affect the sound, affect the track. So if I was to actually track piano here, whatever type of plugin that I put here is going to affect that sound on this track. So right now for the click track, we need to actually have a click sound. It's almost like an instrument itself. So you need to click on one of these empty spaces here, and you'll go down to Instrument, and it's just called Click, so we'll click on that. And you can just kind of get rid of this box. It's already pretty much set. You can adjust the accents, but I rarely ever do that. Now to dictate the tempo, that's actually right here. If you wanted to change the tempo, you can just click on this little red triangle here, or on this plus sign, excuse me, right here where it says tempo. And we can just leave it at 120 for now. I'm just kind of making something up, but usually the tempo is pretty important. So if you have a song, you probably have a specific tempo that you want to use. We'll just stick with 120 though. Now anytime, if you press enter or return, this is just like where you are on the track where I'm clicking here. If you press enter or return, it's going to bring you all the way to the beginning of the track. So if you just want to start at the very beginning and you're somewhere over here, just press enter and then I'll go ahead and do that. Right now if I press play, let's see here. just have my volume down on my my hardware here. So now we can hear the click track. And let's just change that tempo, make it a little faster, just to make it a little more interesting. Let's do 135. Okay, so with this instrument track that you have here, that I labeled piano, in order to actually get the piano sound, you need to pick a plugin, you need to pick the program to make the sound. So go ahead and click on an empty spot like we did with the click. You'll go to Instrument, and this is this kind of comes standard with Pro Tools LE8, at least for Macs. It actually might not come with for Windows, but this is called Midi Grand. It's just MIDI piano samples, and it loads up here. And now I'm just playing my keyboard that I have plugged in with a MIDI cord that I have set up. So we're actually ready to start tracking MIDI piano. So you want to start from the beginning, so you can press enter. You can see right here that the cursor is starting right there, but I want it to be at the beginning, so I'll press enter or return. And there it goes. In order to activate, in order to make Pro Tools ready to record, you need to record enable by pressing this right here. And then you also need to, this is called the transport, this little box here. You also need to press record on that. And now the only thing you need to do before it starts recording is to press the space bar. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of improv here. Probably going to be a pretty goofy song, but let's go ahead and try it. So I'm going to press spacebar, and what you'll do is you'll hear the click, and I'm just going to play over that. And you're going to see on this bar here, you're going to see it should be a blue bar that's going to be showing like what I'm recording. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to press spacebar. Okay, so nothing too fancy.